take it away.
Okay. Hi, I'm Julie.
And I am Alyssa. I'm her daughter.
And this is Stitching at the Cabin, FlossTube number 1. This is not the cabin though, and we're not stitching.
And there will be lots of birds in the background as well. They're like 3 rooms over. Welcome to the house. This is what it sounds like pretty much all the time. But we want to join the FlossTube community. So,
yeah.
Here we are. Hi.
Hi. This will be awkward at the beginning. We'll get better.
Maybe.
Please
We're
don't
always
give up on
awkward,
us.
honestly.
I do want to point out, because there's like a huge elephant in the room. People ask me if I have an accent. I don't have an accent. No, really, I don't. I have a speech impediment. And there's one letter that I can't say. It's an evil letter and it should be banned from the alphabet, but I can't get anyone to do it. And that one is R. Show off. So anytime it sounds like I'm saying something with maybe an L, just substitute R. Thank you. And it should help. The people who spend a lot of time with me say that I don't have an impediment, that they don't hear anything at all, because you get used to it. So please don't give up yet. You'll get used to it. It gets better, and she'll translate anything that needs to be translated.
And that's her way of saying you should hit the subscribe button and stick around for the next 100 episodes so you can understand every word she says.
Good one. I
I know.
So today I'm only, sorry, it's not all about me.
I can leave.
We're going to show you the permanent projects, and those are the ones that have their own room. She doesn't live here.
Nope.
But she does have her own room here because we work here and she works for me.
Different kind of room. Less stitching in that room.
Very office-y.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, then next week, assuming that we do this again, next week we'll show you things that are whips that rotate. And then the week after that, we can go play in my stash. I do have a craft room. It's upstairs. I call it my thinking room because I have a thinking chair.
Like Blue's Clues. The red
Puffy,
thinking chair.
velvety.
No blue dog. There is a Chihuahua. You might also hear him.
Hopefully not.
It's a
because
little
my son
zoo.
took him. But
So
I don't know what I was going to say.
You have a thinking room and you're going to show stashes.
Yeah, so I'll show you the stash and stuff in my
Yeah.
thinking room. My husband calls it my timeout room, which is awesome because then I just do something bad and I'm like, ooh, I gotta go to timeout.
Oh,
I did a bad thing.
shucks.
But the reason I have to edit this, obviously.
Oh no.
We do have 2 cameras going because we're gonna try to show close-ups on one and beautiful.
It's a
us
learning
on the
experiment
other.
all the way around. So just
We'll get better. I hope.
she's making promises she can't keep.
But anyway, so we got permanent stuff.
Right. So that's what we're mainly going to be looking at because, I mean, I don't do a whole lot of stitching, like on lots of different things. I try to do a lot on like my permanent stuff, but I'm a full-time student and I try to work full-time for her. That's
It's
I
like 3 days
try.
a week, like 3 hours a day.
Well, school is the rest of the time, so then weekends I try to do it, but homework and whatever. So I don't have a whole lot of stuff in my stash, so her stuff's going to be a lot more interesting, but I'll still show you like kind of what I work on in my house.
And I should probably point out why it's stitching at the cabin, because we're not at the cabin and we're not
Right.
stitching, and I will never do a stitch with me because I'm just not confident enough. Like, I know I'll get knot and then I'll get really angry and
As it
cut
is,
the
we'll
knot.
probably put a trigger warning on some of the stuff we show. Not saying we are bad stitchers, but some people like things a very specific way, and we might be doing it not the way you want to do it.
We definitely do some things differently. You'll see.
So there probably won't be stitch-alongs. But she does a lot of stitching at their cabin.
That's the thing. I stitch. That's really my only stitching time is on Saturdays, and that's if he's not making, he being my husband, isn't making me do some crazy project. Like we replaced a septic tank, not the tank, but the leach field by ourselves. We've open beamed. We've done crazy stuff by ourselves that people shouldn't do, but we do it. So I don't always get much time, and then I can stitch maybe a half hour I almost said a half hour or 30 minutes.
Ooh.
A half hour
That
to an
ratio.
hour in the morning before work, depending on when I can sneak into my timeout room. Which, by the way, if anyone has any suggestions for like TV shows to watch, because I started watching Outlander, and then my husband's like, "Hey, I want to watch that too," and so now we have to watch it together. So now I can't watch it alone.
Can I digress on this point?
Maybe.
My friend recommended to me the Outlander series because I had never read it. She had read it apparently a very long time ago, so I started reading it, and then the show, I started watching it. You started watching it, so that's what she's been watching when she's stitching until the rest of the family decided they wanted to get in on it, as happens to every show that we care about.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Breaking Bad. You
Just
name it.
happens. Well, I just finished the first book.
I didn't know you finished it.
I
You didn't
finished
tell
it.
me.
Right. Well, so Friday night, I stayed up. I usually go to bed at 9 because I am
But I'm the old one.
lame. I never said you were old. I said we were the
I
same.
went to bed at 1:30 a.m. Saturday-ish.
Well, that doesn't sound fun.
I'm sorry, go on with the book.
So I stayed up like until 12 or 12:30 to finish it on Friday
Wow.
because I wanted to get the second book on the way to Big Bear this weekend,
Gotcha.
where we went to go jeeping. My boyfriend Jacob and I, we have a house, so we live separately and we have our own little separate lives. So we went to Big Bear this last weekend while they went to the cabin.
To your cabin.
To his family's cabin. I did not stitch there. That is not the stitching cabin. Anyways, again, digress. So I wanted to finish the book before I went to the library, and so I stayed up 3 hours late to do that. So then the very first thing I packed in the morning, because I did not pack ahead of time, was my library card on my keys, because I don't normally take my keys with me if he's going, because he drives and he has all the keys, and I don't need my keys, and I just lose my keys, so why would I take them? But I packed them. Very first thing I did, I packed them, okay? We got in the Jeep, and then he's like, "Hey, I need to grab something out of your car." Why?
Oh,
But okay, he takes my keys, checks the car, comes back to the Jeep. Fine. I have my book. We go to the library. I say, "Honey, where's my keys?" "Oh, I brought them back inside."
No.
I was like, "Jacob, my library card is on the keys. Like, I can't get the library book." He's like, "You can just give them your name and phone number. It's fine." I was like, "That's not how that works." He's like, "It'll be fine." So we have to wait like 15 minutes for the library to open because we got there early. I go in with my book, hand it to them. I immediately go to the section where I know the second book is, grab it, bring it back to the front. She's like, "Where's your library card?"
Wow.
I was like, "Well, I have it, but not with me because he left it in the house. He brought it back to the house." Whatever, I was very clearly glaring at him. And I said, "But I have my library card number because my phone keeps that." She said, "That doesn't work." I was like, "Are you sure?" Please, because I stayed up 3 hours past my bedtime to read. I'm going to get the second book for this trip. And ultimately, she said there's nothing she can do except for a one-time complimentary checkout where she takes my ID and then writes down all of my information.
Shoe size,
Make sure I
clothing
return it. Like,
size.
you can look up my account. I don't.
It's not a secret.
It's not a secret. So I got the book, but that was my digression off of your Outlander show. I tried to get the second book. It was a struggle because he thought it necessary to put my keys back inside.
It's sort of thoughtful. I mean, it's probably the first time he's ever put anything away.
Right. I immediately picked on him the entire rest of the ride. I was like, "I hope you didn't need your toolbox in the back of the Jeep. I put it on the driveway. You didn't need that, right? I know it was in the Jeep, but you didn't need it, right?"
Put a free sign on it too.
I should have told him. So anyways,
we digress.
shows. You have shows.
Yes, please let me know if you have any good shows.
What other shows do you like? Have you watched?
I like medical stuff, but I like the more realistic police stuff. Like, I know Live PD would be amazing, but I can't.
You can't find that on a streaming service.
But I have like Hulu, Netflix, that
TV
kind of
kinda.
stuff.
Yeah.
TV, except for the one channel that I want.
But you fell out of Grey's Anatomy, right?
Yeah.
Not really a fan of that
No.
anymore.
No. But anyway, I could think of something. Okay. Stitching
ready?
stuff. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I started stitching like 3 decades ago, but then I stopped because, you know.
Don't look at me.
I
did not make the choice to come into this world.
Yes, but you made the choice to not sleep through the night. So I gave up
I
on
own up to that.
stitching. And then I started diamond painting last year-ish, which led me to Heaven
Maybe
and
2
Earth
years
Designs.
ago.
Could be. Led to
Wow.
Heaven and Earth Designs, and
That changed.
then I saw this
Everything.
chart, and I'm hoping that you can put in a.
I will not
Thing.
follow your fingers. That will make people dizzy.
So we look that way because my husband walked by while I'm doing this crazy finger thing.
But he kept walking.
He
He was
did.
a good one.
He just acted like, yep, she's at it again. Whatever. I saw this chart, and I think it was new. I think she had just posted it, and I was obsessed, and I knew I had to do it, and I have been obsessed since. I mean, every night, every morning, that's what I thought about. And so my very supportive husband was like, why don't you just buy it and stop talking to me about it? Oh, okay. So I'm going to warn you, it's massive. It's going to take me about 20 years. The pattern is like 89 pages, although only 81 is actually
Full pages?
no,
Oh.
no, but because you know you have
The, like, how many skeins?
yeah, so there's all that stuff at the beginning.
So 81
there's
pages
81
of pattern.
actual pages of pattern, and I am on page 6, but I'm on the last column of page 6. Yeah, thank you.
That's twice as much as I have done on my head. So, head.
I didn't take it out of the Q-snap because I'm mean, and you're gonna see it's weird, and she's gonna do the trigger warning for me, just to, in case there's any kind of speech impediment issue, you need to know why you're gonna be triggered.
It's not that bad. We stitch fine, but we do parking. So that means, especially on hers, not on mine right now because I'm kind of in the middle of changing colors, so it just so happens I don't have a lot on mine. But all of our colors stay threaded and they stay on needles with lots of needle minders. So it might look crazy, but I can guarantee she could take any one color that she wants, pull it out, and it would not tangle. Same with mine when mine's crazy. So if it makes you feel better, it looks bad, but it isn't bad. So
Just be warned.
That's
I'll
your
pick this
warning.
up and you're going to see some crazy stuff. I'll start by showing you over here and then I'll show you over here. So this
And I can hold this out too so you
Yeah.
can see. I mean, that's how
there's a
far
lot of
she's
stuff
done.
in there that you can't see. This is Keto by Annie Stegg, Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the very tippy top of her head, believe it or not. I was super
Wait, I didn't
excited.
see it.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, it is!
Yeah.
It's red!
Yeah,
Oh, that's exciting!
I know,
It's not
right?
brown and green!
It was quick in the beginning when it was all black, but then I moved and I got excited. I got like some weird space cloud alien.
It really looks like a green cloud.
But see, then there's a whole lot of fabric.
Yeah.
And I don't keep it all shoved up in there because this is on a Lowry stand. This is in my thinking room.
You need one. If you don't have one and you're on the verge, just buy it.
I have two, one at the cabin and one.
I only have
here.
one.
So like a lot of needle minders, crazy stuff happening, but that's that. So let me show this camera kind of up close.
And the needle minders are really cool too.
Nails
So,
and whatever else because, yeah.
but you can really see the leaf work there.
Definitely. Oh, and here's her head. The very tippy top of her head. And hopefully at some point Alyssa has put someplace what the chart is so that
Pattern.
That-
Not the pattern.
yeah, not the pattern. But a picture of what it will look like
Right.
in 20-something years. Why do something small? Why not
Yeah.
start back after 20 years with
Right.
the biggest thing they make? Just
And
about.
see, my first cross-stitch project is also a HAED. And as you can tell, I started probably around the same time she did. So I'm doing a HAED as well. I hadn't really done any cross-stitch before this, so
That's not true.
we knew when I was a wee lad. So, a wee lassie?
Lass.
Lass? Is Lassie a dog? dog, though.
Wax is the dog, but Timmy kept falling down the
Wax
whale.
is also a word, isn't it?
The well, not the whale. That's like what Moby Dick, the Bible, or something.
Stories are getting confused.
Oh god.
Okay, I've done some crafting things as a child, like latch hook and crochet, and questionably some cross stitch. But let's just say from like my memory, I never cross stitch, and especially not on any kind of fabric. If it was cross stitch,
Just
like,
on the sky.
I mean on the plasticky.
Oh, that would be more like needlepoint.
See, that's what I think I did. I don't think I did cross stitch.
I think you did a stamped one. That's how I started too. And stamped, don't do stamped. It's difficult.
I don't remember. So when she started, I thought it was impossible to figure out where your holes were, to figure out where your squares go. I was just like, this does not intrigue me. But then she let me, like, the way thread feels as you're pulling it through, it hooked me. Just like with diamond painting, the snap of the square diamonds, it gets you. Mm-hmm. So, the HAED that really caught my attention, actually there were a few, and they were all from Randall Spangler. I really love his stuff, and mostly I think because of the colors, because you get a huge color variation even within like your stonework. Like, so when you're doing, like, you had that whole black section, but there's none of that. Well, yeah, you have like 3 different colors of darkness. Mine's so cool. So I am doing the universe in a jar.
You can actually hold up that.
Yeah, I can. So there's universe in a jar, and I want to show you what the inside of this looks like. That's actually why I brought this, because this is all at home by my library stand. But I brought it because I wanted you to show the box. So there's, and I'm just gonna lean over you. We were gonna move the camera, but we're not. Yeah. Oh, thank you. That was a kiss. So
that was a kiss.
That's what the pattern looks like. I will take mine out of my Q-snap for you because I don't have a lot of things hanging off of it. I think I have 2 colors. I have 2 colors attached.
I'll be moving mine in the next few weeks, and I will take it off and show you when I do.
She will. She's nice. So then this is the actual inside. Ignore this. This is not organized. But the rest of it, I just want to show you like the colors, because when we put together all of the colors for the project before I started, I was just in love with the color spread. So there's.
I don't think it look that good on camera compared to real life.
It's just, I mean, it's every color. It's every color you can think of is in this thing. So without further ado, here is, and let me move. I keep some of my needle minders actually on the stitched part, so let me move those out of the way for you, and then I will take a break, make sure the cameras are working as they should be, and then un-Q-snap it so you can see.
Because there is an awful lot back here.
Yeah. And I think I have 3 pages. The end of this column will be 3 pages, so I'm halfway to where she is on hers. But I mean, you can see in that stonework just how many colors there are. So you never have a dull moment. I mean, the sky is probably the most uniform. So give us just a moment. Let's check the cameras, and then we'll be back. Show you things. Okay, hi. We're back. We think the cameras are working. Fingers crossed.
Sorry about the loudness.
Yeah, the birds. When it gets to be evening, it's like dinner time, and they come out usually around now, so they start like, hi. Do you know I exist? I'm supposed to be outside. Kevin. Okay, so here is it out of its Q-snappy. Well, kind of. Half out. Yeah, see? So there's the swirlies. Every time I finish a swirly, she's like, did you finish a swirly? Send me a picture of the swirly. Did you finish it? Is it done? Yeah, I mean, when you get to the windows, it's kind of a nice break because it's more uniform in color, and then you get to the stone, and it's just fun. And I started out strictly parking, but then I started to do more like finish a whole square and then park in the next square. So I'm still trying to figure out what I like best. So you can see I only have like 2 attached right now. So let me show you over here. So you can see it's just that whole little top corner of Spangler.
That looks so good.
I can't wait. I really want to finish it and put it in like a kid's room in my house. I don't have kids yet, but
you kind of have to get married first. You can't have kids unless you're married.
That's how that works.
How
and
old are you
then-
and how old am I? When did I
Okay, so I also
my thumb is attached. I got this, but now they've seen the back.
So then I also want to show the Pako.
P-A-K-O.
Does it matter?
I call it Paco.
Just because it's cool, so you can see what it's like when you keep all of your threads on needles.
It does not come with the box. The box is like $8, and it's just a box.
And you don't get options. I felt like this was too Christmassy for me. Doesn't it look Christmassy? It's like spring Christmas.
It's a kind of a
It's like it's flowers.
50s. Oh, I'm like, what are we doing?
It's like flowers, but they look like snowflakes.
Okay.
It's like Christmassy. Now,
Oh, trigger warning.
I
see
did
it
not.
coming.
I did not think about. I
Dangle it over the.
okay.
That's what I do with my
See,
hair.
normally, I have these when I'm stitching, and it's all set up in my little. I have like a sofa designated spot with a side table and my Lowry stand. I have the top row flipped up and the bottom row flipped down because I transported it. It's not like that, so I'm just gonna flip everything down to minimize the impact of this image in your brain. But
You're gonna have nightmares.
this is about 50 colors, I'd say. Yeah, 30, 40 each.
It's 25 and there's two, so it's 650, but then you double. Well, I double mine for the cabin one.
Mine up here and down there. So there's a lot of colors. So that way when I come across the color again, I just have to like stitch it. And then there's that. So you can see, I know it looks crazy, but it's very functional, especially if you have a lot of confetti and changing colors. I find it helpful. Plus, then it's easy to transport when I'm going someplace that I'm gonna bring and do it. But like she said, it's like pretty much our permanent stuff, so we really don't try to take it places.
Yeah, my Keto upstairs, I have two pillows, and I just keep them in a little basket in a little table, and they're all permanently done. I do have another HAED, which I'll show you next week, and that one I do what she does. I have the travel box, and I do the 2 of those, because I don't want to buy another box, because I'm cheap, and $8 just makes me angry for an empty
Seriously,
box.
the Pako thing isn't even that expensive. Like, more than the thing.
Yeah, I think it's like $20 for, I don't know. Okay, so in my office, I work from home.
Do you want to take a pause real quick and see if we can get Kevin to Dad?
Well, he's right there. He should take him.
Well, while he's bringing the ring stand, I can tell you about Big Bear, because we went trail riding, which I usually enjoy in our Jeep, just like going off trails, seeing the nature, finding animals, basically hiking, but without the effort. That's what I like. It's what you like. Don't laugh. That's what you like. But Jacob, he turns out to not know, really likes the crazy off-road stuff.
You didn't know that?
I knew he liked it. I did not know he liked it. Like that's all he wanted to do. So when we went up to Big Bear, we did some jeeping of that sort, and I have some video. All right, careful, careful, slow. Keep coming this way. Keep coming this way. Keep coming. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Go that way a little bit more. Slow. You're okay still. Just go slow. You're almost off the passenger. There you go. There you go. Now. Okay.
I don't know what the solution is yet, but
Honestly, you can hear the birds everywhere. I work here, and I have an office right next to them, which is not helpful. But even her office, which is on the opposite side of the house,
it's loud.
birds are loud. If you didn't know, birds are loud.
I'll try feeding them right before. They get quiet when they eat.
Just stuff them full.
Stuff them full of goodness.
My animals are quiet.
Okay, so you're gonna put in your animals are terrifying. She has snakes.
I also have a chinchilla. That's not terrifying.
Okay, but snakes and chinchilla, not really a good combo.
That's why they have separate rooms.
And then there's a dog. She's a big dog. Okay, so you're gonna
What
put
were
in
we
the
doing?
Jeep thing. I think you put in the Jeep
Yeah.
thing. So we're doing my next per minute.
Yeah, basically it's her show now. I mean, this is all I brought today, so. But this per minute, I like this one. This is my favorite one to look at when I come over.
It did look better when I moved it, but I had to move the Q snap, and now it's all kind of wonky, and you'll still love it, because if you don't, something's wrong with you.
Hit the unsubscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribble.
This one's in my office, so I only get to work on it on my lunch breaks if I get a lunch break. Other employees can be sort of needy sometimes, and so technically it should be 5 hours a week, because it would be an hour lunch break 5 days a week. Doesn't usually happen, but it is a Chatelaine. You're gonna have to say the name, because it's one of those things I can't say.
I don't remember the name.
I'll tell you the name, but I can't say it. It's Herbularius or Herbularius.
I can't even say that. Herbularius.
Thank you.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's
Herbularius?
it. That's it.
Like funny, but herbs?
Like hilarious, but
Like
funny.
funny herbs.
Yeah.
Herbularius?
Well, like all these are different.
That doesn't make it funny.
Watching me do it, if it was a stitch along, you know how many times I this? Pretty much every time I pick it up, I have to frog it, and now all the birds are screaming.
And people think banging from construction is bad.
Well, when you can be quiet, you should apologize to Christine.
Right. Okay, Christine.
All the things.
That's the problem. Was your name. And I know you had it way before we had any intention of doing anything. But you see, she's not technical, right? So I was tasked with setting up the email and the YouTube channel, all that stuff. And I knew you were doing stitching at the cabin. Okay, so I set it up while I was at school. I set up the YouTube, I set up the email. She already had her Instagram set up, stitching at the cabin, everything's all set up. Well, I was doing some test things today on a desktop computer to make sure that, like, I don't know, I knew how to use YouTube, like I thought I did. And so I had to log in, right? So got it in my head that our channel was stitching all the things. And so I may or may not have tried to log into stitching all the things Google.
Stitch all the things.
See, I think
Now you have to apologize again.
I know, right? So I tried to stitch all the things through YouTube.
16 million times.
I logged in probably 8 times with the wrong password because I was driving myself crazy. I just set up the password. I know what the password is. And then I figured out that's not our name. So, if you got an email that says somebody was trying to log on in a different computer, it was me. I was not trying to hack you. I was not successful. That's good.
You have a good password.
I do have a good password. My apologies. It won't happen again. Now all the computers know the login, so I won't even be the one typing it in, but my apologies. Just throwing that in there if you got a weird email.
See, I'm not the stalker. Nope.
Listen, it was my fault this time. It was, I'm sorry.
Probably my fault for talking about you so much.
You did. You mentioned it right before I went back to the computer. It was in my head. You got stuck in my head.
So this is a Chatelaine.
Right. Throw it back.
It's all called for goodness. I got it from European Cross Stitch. The goodness, the chart itself, which, I mean, that's also good.
Yeah.
That came from Chatelaine. You should get the PDF if you're going to buy a chart, because
I don't know.
no, with Chatelaine you have to get the PDF, because if you buy the hard copy, it's only black and white.
Right,
Which
that's
makes
a problem.
like backstitching impossible.
Yeah.
I've seen it, and I immediately want to zoom it, and I can't. It's small, and it's black and white. You don't want to do that.
So even if you're just going to print it in color.
Yes, even if you're going to print. I don't care what you're going to do with it, get it PDF so you have color and black and white. And Christine did just talk about this recently, and I
Throw
agree
it back
with
to
her.
Christine.
But I also want to point out that don't mix and match the color in black and white, because I did that.
I remember this
Down the
confusion.
middle, instead of being that beautiful leaf green, it was Elizabethan green, which is also a beautiful color, but way darker.
I still can't read this pattern. Honestly, it's pretty complicated for me. But like I said, I mean, I'm no expert, and I think if I had taken the time to really sit down and figure out the layers and like special stitching,
you could totally do it.
that's what she says. It's
But
complicated.
don't mix and match is the point, because the symbols are in both, but they don't mean the same thing.
They're trying to trick you.
Yeah. So use all color, all black and white. Don't mix and match. The only thing that I did change, and I'll show a close up on this so that I'm waving my hand and I can see it. It's really distracting. I will show it close up. I changed these little flowers. These little ones. They should be red, but I like the pink. I saw it on the Chatelaine gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Helen, somebody there, love. I don't know.
Sorry, Helen.
I'm sorry. She had done it with the pink, and I loved it because I was always nervous about the red. I love the pink, and I'm glad that I did it. But everything else is, well, I mean, it's what she intended, but maybe not quite what she intended.
Everything you can do a little creativity.
We'll do a little close up. Wow, I can't see anything.
She also did some of the beading too for that middle
Yes.
section, just because we couldn't. I mean, you can't wait to do the whole thing, do all the stitching on the whole thing before you try beading.
Exactly.
And it's actually her beading on this that convinced me to maybe try some other stitching that involves beading.
And I only did the beading in. That's not helpful. In this.
In the whole stitch section, there are some beads.
Okay, that's fair. I didn't bead out anything other than
The whole thing. The square section has been beaded.
The inside of the mandala has been beaded, but anything from the green, the snowflakey looking leafy green out has not, because this is a 17 by 17 inch Q snap, which isn't particularly easy to use, but it's what I had, and this way I can move it enough that I should be able to get up, because I can come all the way up to about here
Without stepping on beads. See, there was thought to this madness.
And I didn't put the crystals in because I did not want to skish the crystals.
just in case.
And I'm missing a stitch right there. I noticed
You
it.
didn't fix it
I
yet?
didn't fix it.
You said you were going to fix it!
I noticed it Friday. She was by the fax machine and she's trying to have a conversation with me, and all of a sudden I'm like,
She's not paying
I
attention.
missed one. But that was Friday, and I have not stitched a single stitch today, so I did not get a lunch break
Yeah,
today.
it was weekend, so you weren't working on this because this is
This
this is
is
the
permanent.
office piece.
Yeah, this doesn't move. But I do want to show you my really pretty travel bag for it, because I don't travel. My project bag.
I love this bag.
So much to love.
Where'd you get it?
So much to love on
Is that
Etsy.
Etsy.
See back here? So much to
Oh
love.
yeah, it has even
Yeah.
a little. You
Yeah.
should show that so you can see.
That's a little-
I made on the one that you could read it.
That one. Oh, that's not. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's backwards. You need to make that not backwards.
It should. Oh, I wonder if it's recording in like a mirror fashion.
I think you can fix it. I've seen people say, "Oh, I'll fix this after," and about half did and half didn't. So good
do
luck.
that. Weird.
But you can tell
Challenges.
it's hers by this cute little hood. I love it.
It's super cute.
I super love it, although I don't travel with it. Initially, I traveled with my Chatelaine. I did take it to the cabin and
I'd bring my maid to school with me every day, and it was like really kind of concerning, like because people just aren't careful, and you're carrying it around all day. And one day it started pouring rain. Like we're in California, we're in Southern California. It doesn't rain here, but it rained. Wasn't prepared. So it's scary traveling with stuff, which is why we kind of developed like this permanent house thing for our stuff. So really, mine hasn't left the house in months.
especially that fabric, that Easy Count.
Yeah. Because it washes away with water.
Easy Count. Yeah.
Rainwater was okay. It just made it a little bit dull. So just don't scrub at it if you get in the rain with your Easy Count.
Probably have pointed out that what the fabric is. I don't know if it's a 28 or 32. I know I wanted a 28, but we don't really have an LNS. We have one. It's in. I'll need your help with this. Garden Grove.
Garden Grove.
Thank you. And it moved. So back, 30 years ago when I went, it was massive, and they had an entire wall of fabric, and it was amazing. Now it's in this little tiny closet kind of a place, and while it's still amazing, every stitching store is amazing. The fabric's locked up in a cabinet, you can't see it, and she had to pull it out, and we were on our way to an event, and I was wearing heels, and my feet hurt, and so I don't know if this is 28 or 32 count, because I can't remember. But the beads fit, so I'm thinking 28. I don't know. But it's Witchelt, and it is something like Queen Anne's lace or French lace.
Something
Queen,
European.
French Queen.
And lacy.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I have it someplace. If I think about it and look it up in time, she'll stick it someplace. Or in the box below.
I will try to put that in the box below for your reference.
I'm going to have to find it. But it's kind of a greenish color. I don't know how well that comes out. I'll show you camera.
Yeah, because I think it probably looks tan.
It's not. It's a really pale green.
It is.
And the last project that I have that's permanent, because this is already probably 16 hours long.
I don't know what this is.
Yes, you do.
I'm sure. This is
my-
in this box.
My family's busy, but not busy enough for me to go to my timeout room.
I know what this is.
So I have to slip a project in when nobody's really paying attention. So this is very portable. Sometimes I take it outside if I take the birds out.
And this is new.
And it is new.
It's very new.
I was enabled. I saw this on Facebook.
You know, the internet is a dangerous place.
Yes. And I'm not easily enabled, to be honest, because I know I have a limited stitchy lifetime, and I'm
This
kind
is a
of
depressing topic.
I'm kind
She
of
counts her
sensitive
life in years of how much she could finish before she dies. And if she goes over that limit, she just doesn't buy anything anymore.
for a while until I get enabled. But I don't have a massive stash, because I know I can't stitch it all if I did, and then I'd be sad, and we have different tastes, so I can't really pass it on to you and be like, hey, stitch that for me.
Plus, I'd feel guilty for the rest of my life. Like, she needs this stitched.
Yeah, then
she
you couldn't
wants
finish
this.
yours.
Exactly.
So
this is
I
already
don't
a 15-year project.
buy a lot. I mean, I have stuff, don't get me wrong.
And she has a lot of stuff from years ago, because she kept it all because she knew she would get her stitchy bug back when I was old enough to feed myself.
You'll see a lot of that next week.
Yeah.
Because I've restarted, well, not restarted, I didn't. But
Oh,
frog.
goodness, no.
No, but I picked them back up. And now I have that Tiny Decisions app. That is so much fun. In fact, I need to spin that to see what I'm working on at the cabin this weekend.
Yeah.
But anyway, I saw this on Facebook, and I went, oh. And so then I started watching FlossTube, where two people do it. It is from Nancy's Needle, I believe. Yep, from Nancy's Needle, Deep Lagoon. Were you Vanna Whiting it?
I was pointing.
Ooh, that is so backwards.
It really is. Now it's going to bug me.
It
The
is
colors on
Counted
this.
canvas, I believe they call it. I do need a needle minder for this. Oh my goodness.
There's always a need for more needle minders. If you're on the fence about buying more needle minders, just buy more. They make you happy.
Both my kids can do clay by hand. They can both buy clay by. I still
Get yourself a young person, and they can get you clay by Kim.
Not in a creepy way.
Not kidnapping.
No.
No kidnapping.
No creepy stuff.
Just ask, because it's fun. Like, Steve, my brother, he's 18, and, like, he enjoys it. He doesn't care at all about needle minders, but it's fun. It's like a video game.
Yeah.
And they get to spend someone else's money.
Yeah, he loves that.
It's really fun.
And she's not 12, despite how she looks.
I'm 23.
We don't need to talk about how old I am. I can't say it.
Oh, too bad.
I don't know how well you can see this, especially because it's kind of see-through and long distance. I don't know if that really helps. But rotate. Come over here.
Teamwork.
I really like it. It's different.
You should even get a little closer, Ellie. So that way they can see that it's not, there you go. See, it's just like long.
Yeah, long stitches. There's
Yeah.
only one stitch, and I can't remember what it's called. It's like, reminds me of a ghost. I think it's in here someplace. Hold, please, while I shuffle through paperwork and... See, it looks like goblin. Goblin.
It's goblin spelled wrong.
Goblin. G-O-B-E-L-I-N.
Yes. If only only it just worked like that. Technology.
And then you do a Virgello tuck.
You probably said
There's
that right.
there's no, I'm not showing anything that.
No, this is just instructions.
Here you go.
Like, not pattern instructions, but.
See, that's the stitch, and hopefully I'm showing you the tuck. I can't see.
Yeah, you kind of are. It's close.
Whatever.
Decent.
Off the grid needle. Off the grid needle arts.
Maybe. We can look.
Yeah.
Put
Everybody,
it in the box.
you all know who she is. I'm just having a moment, a senior moment, and I can't think of the. They happen a lot. True. I can't think of the correct name. She has a cottage in Canada, Virgin Bay. I can't think of the name.
Sorry.
But anyway, she has done one of these, not this particular one, but she has done one. So I watched her, and then I bought mine, and I love it. I just don't get to do it very often.
But it doesn't take all that long to get a lot of progress on it either.
No, it doesn't. Because I've only had this a couple of weeks.
We've determined that the key is that you have to have projects you soul love. Just love in your soul and will work on until you die. Or, I mean, hopefully sooner. But, you know, you will never, like, lose sight of that one. Oh, don't scare me like that.
Sorry, my zipper went bad.
Just
I'll fix it.
Now it's not going to
No,
fix.
I can fix that.
And you need a project that you can make a lot of progress on, so that way you're not sitting there stitching black for
All of eternity.
yeah. So that way you have something you're like, look, I made this, which I have a few of those.
I also have one that's like hers with a butt ton of confetti, and so it's nice to switch between the big chunks of black and
That
the
too.
mind-numbing confetti.
Confetti and
fingers. I have
blocks
sore
and-
spots in my fingers from the confetti over the weekend.
Like snag and habits are important. I mean, there's just so much stuff that we've learned that we really like. So, I mean, eventually we'll show you.
Yeah.
Maybe without birds.
That would be nice. And I want them to still exist. You hear them? Hi. They're talking to
And one
me.
of them meows. We don't have a cat.
No.
It's just a bird.
And today he was oinking like a pig. Not oink oink, but it, very attractive, wasn't that?
He's recording it right now. He's like, yes, I am saying it right. That is correct.
So, at the end of each little snippet, I thought that we would discuss the cabin just a smidge. So if you were only here for stitching, I apologize. It was so long and loud. We will figure that out. So for that, thank you. For anyone that came, even for 15 seconds, thank you.
That's
Thank
cool.
you.
I appreciate it.
But we do have a cabin.
There it is. A cabin.
Well,
Me being, like,
I mean, I'm part of the family. Like, it's not like I can't go to the cabin.
She doesn't
but
like the cabin.
just continue.
We do a lot of work because it's from 1922, I believe, and we have to. I feel like someone's sneaking up. That's why I keep looking.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think I'm looking over there too.
Yeah,
You're right. I can hear something.
It's sneaking. I think I see a shadow. It was built in 1922 by prison labor, so not all the wood touches other wood.
Level is not a thing.
No. If you drop something that's round, good luck. It's
Insulation was newspaper.
gone. Yeah. The electrical is knob and tube. We're lucky we don't have an outhouse, that we have an actual
Really?
bathroom.
Yeah, honestly.
Although it had carpet, and
Ooh.
no offense to anyone that has carpet in a bathroom, I'm just hugely opposed to it in my own life.
And it was like the rag carpet, right? So it was like the really
It was
thick
nasty.
carpet. It
It
wasn't
was-
just like, it was good
It was
stuff in the
nasty.
beginning. But that was 5 years ago
We
now,
bought it
right?
5 years ago, and we've been
And they quickly ripped out everything that was
Everything.
toxic to health.
everything. So that was like the whole cabin. So we do projects all the time, and I just thought this would be a good chance to kind of share like the project of the week. What were we working on?
Right.
So I hadn't really planned to do FlossTube. I kind of always wanted to, but I didn't plan it. So I was sort of like, hey, Alyssa, we should do this.
I said, sure, let's do
Yeah,
it.
but we didn't plan.
No.
So I took some pictures this weekend, and I will send them to Alyssa.
Good.
So
I
that
wasn't
she
sure if
can-
you had or not.
My husband's
Told you to.
birthday is next week, on this week, on Saturday. And I bought him...
Which basically means probably tomorrow or the next day.
It's Saturday.
Which is probably
Oh, yeah, when
tomorrow
you see it.
or the next day.
It's Monday for us. Today's Monday, September 9th?
Yep, 9th.
September 9th.
Yep, 9th.
So, I bought him this train bell, which is big. It used to be on a locomotive. You know, toot toot.
Chugga chugga.
Yeah, yeah.
The bird will also say that.
Yes, he will. One of them. So, it's really heavy. It's,
no.
Kevin! That was impressive. I wish you could have seen that.
Airplane.
And it will be loud.
We'll hold on for a second
Hold
while
on.
he walks through the living room.
Oh no, you can't eat the quills.
Sorry for that brief interruption. The birds are back in good
We'll
hands.
do this quickly. Almost done. So I bought him this train bell, super heavy. Took 4 guys to get it in the house, in the cabin.
Chugga.
Yeah, chugga chugga. It's several hundred pounds, and I do have a picture. It's sitting behind one of the sofas at the cabin, and so he was trying to find a place to mount it, and he got help from cabin 13, and so they have a plan, and they're gonna mount it. They're gonna mount it outside Kevin's window.
So sorry. I failed to stop the timer. I'm sneezing.
But he's gonna mount it outside Kevin's window where the new deck is.
Oh.
Yeah, I have pictures.
Okay.
And so he's building this.
Outside.
He's building this wood contraption.
That can hold all that weight.
I know.
Are you
It's
sure
going.
the cabin can hold the weight?
That's what I was worried about. But a lot of the weight is through the new deck.
Okay.
And that's okay. And he's lagging it through the back and through the top and all sorts of places so people can't steal it. And
Yeah.
I mean, it would take a lot of people to steal it, and a lot of
People are
grinding.
diligent, though.
That you would have to be insane, especially with all the security we have there. No, not a
Fair.
good idea. So that's what he's working on. So I'll put pictures of that. Well, she will, because a computer. How do I use that?
She's not as bad as she says.
So I think that's about it for this week. We don't have a catchy catchphrase
No.
yet.
And you know, our stashes aren't massive. So
Well, I have quite a few Chatelaines.
That's true. I'd say we have more patterns and things that could be started but haven't been started and probably won't be started necessarily really soon. But she'll show
I
you
have a plan.
next time. She'll show you her decision wheel, and that's gonna allow for some cool rotations. And I'm just gonna keep chugging away my stuff.
You have
and
other
just
stuff you can
kinda-
show. You just didn't do it.
Right. Well, because then I'd be out of parts.
Yeah.
That would be it. Exactly. You'd be like, here, hit play, now leave.
Bye.
I want to stick around.
So the only catchphrase I can come up with for now is my usual, Christine, pull out the Chatelaine, I'm nagging you. Bye everybody, thank you if you watch this, truly, truly.
Yeah.
I figure it's kind of one of those things where at least it's documenting our lives and stuff.
And that we like each other.
Yeah.
And that we did a hobby together. And
So
that
if
we have
nobody
birds
besides
and-
us and like my mom ever watches it, then it's okay. But I'd really like to be a part of the community and
Yeah, for you guys to give us suggestions and talk.
And I do have some questions coming up soon. I could use some advice, so come back, please. Please. Oh wait, that's kind of desperate. Please come back. Just whatever it is.
I don't know. I'm not that good at my job.
Oh boy. Bye.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Toodle. Loodle. Loop. No. You want to do it again?
Edit.
Bye!
This is Kevin. This is the noise. This is the distraction. He is a hyacinth. He's a baby.